Hi, everybody. This is
Hi.
our meet a friend from Friends of East Flat Rock. We got two friends this morning. I'm Michelle Tennant Nicholson, and with us we have Cathy Taylor-Murray and her hubby. So please introduce yourself and let us know all about you. Tell us how long you've been in East Flat Rock, what you do for a living, and why you oppose the asphalt plant.
Okay, I'm Cathy Taylor-Murray, and we've lived in East Flat Rock for 4 years now. I'm a retired school social worker and social worker for 35 years, and I'll let Charlie introduce himself.
My name is Charlie Murray. Of course, I lived here the same amount of time. I am also retired. I was in the printing business and logistics business, and also a veteran of the United States Navy. And we moved here for a change. Most of our family is in Michigan, but we moved our daughter here many years ago, and we just absolutely love the area and decided it was time for a change. And why do I oppose the asphalt plant? More so for me, my health, my property values, but also, and my wife will probably also touch on this, but we have many grandchildren that visit us, and I am very concerned that they have the opportunity to have clean air and, be safe. And, that's my big concern. I just don't think this is the area that needs to be. When I come off exit 7, the last thing I want to see as a resident or a visitor is smoke burning up, and that's my take.
And how close would you be to the asphalt plant?
We are about 1.5 miles from the asphalt plant. We are in an association of which my husband is president, and we did, as an association, come out against the asphalt plant's positioning. I don't mind if there's an asphalt plant, but put it in an industrial park where it belongs.
And most of the people in here supported us. They also did letters to the planning board and commissioners, and they feel the same. We don't want it here.
I think another piece, I'm going to just briefly touch on this, is the other day we saw an accident with probably a 17-year-old and another car coming off exit 7, and they crashed into each other. And the only thing that could cross my mind was, how are we going to prevent accidents with asphalt trucks coming on and off that exit on a regular basis? I can't see that. I know they do safety concerns and issues in traffic studies, but the handwriting's on the wall that this is only going to make things more dangerous for us, for our families, and for the citizens of East Flat Rock.
Well, I really appreciate your time this morning, and I know that where you're part of those homes that would overlook the asphalt plant that's right across the street. So if people are like, I don't understand why she's so concerned, she's a mile away, which I've heard, right? They're like, why would Hillendale even care? They're a 1.2 or whatever. They're within the guidelines of how far. But when you're talking about you're right across the street, and the mile is, I don't know if it's a mile as the crow flies or if it's a mile for traffic, because you've got that whole, you've got to go on 25, take a left, and then go back to your house. But even though I'm 1,100 feet from it, you would be directly like across the street from it. So that's what I just want people to understand. Like, they're part of that new development that we've all seen go up over the past 5 years, that every time I go on 25, I see, another beautiful home that's been erected, So the other thing that I wanted to kind of update the two of you, because I know that you all had a very busy Monday and you couldn't be with us on the Monday night call. And for those of you who missed Monday night's call, I just wanted to talk about the next 30 days. So we've part of what we've got going, we've created with the core team and with the lawyer, is 30 days. We're 30 days out, really. they're going to be meeting on September 8th, the Board of Commissioners, and then they're going to set a date of when this meeting will be. We anticipate it'll be at the end of September, and then that will be when the vote is. And so we've got probably 30 days exactly. So we're going to be doing any outstanding media buys, and so be thinking about, especially you, Charlie, with your background in printing. One of the things that came up on Monday was, well, should we look at some other. I know that when we started, Cathy and Chris Berg were among my initial core partners to help me make phone calls and launch everything. And we had looked at direct mail. I had actually priced that out. But one of the things that we're looking at is how to make a printing job on a direct mail campaign maybe less expensive. We've already got the billboards, radio. We even looked at TV. So right now we're favoring Facebook ads over the other strategies. But we just, the direct mail is just quite expensive. Maybe you can figure out a way to have that be a little less expensive. And then we're also going to be looking at these member profiles. And so if you're watching this and you're like, I'm a person in Flat Rock and I want to be profiled, then you'll see my scheduler in the description of this video. There's also going to be face-to-face meetings with commissioners. Our applicant has already been doing that with his lawyer. And by the way, he has been doing he's been vocalizing himself on his website. And I know that I was mentioned. I don't know if you know that I was mentioned, and my husband was mentioned. And I just want everybody with Friends of East Flat Rock to know that on June 4th, Thursday, June 4th, I had a conversation with Brian Golden, the applicant's attorney, and that was before the neighborhood compatibility meeting. It was the day after Jeff Shipman showed up in Highland Hills at Judy Williams' front yard and was just kind of talking to all the neighbors spontaneously. I had called Brian Golden to hire him when I realized when he told me he was the lawyer for the applicant. I immediately said with my husband to corroborate it, I said, oh, well then why don't you get on a Zoom call with us today from 10 to 1 or any time that's convenient for you all, and we'll actually record whatever Jeff Shipman said yesterday in Highland Hills, and we'll just record it for everybody in the Facebook page. Because by that point we were getting a couple hundred people together and it was growing quickly. And I never heard back from his lawyer, and now I guess the lawyer and Jeff Shipman haven't communicated for him to know that was an open opportunity, because he's now propagating the misinformation that we didn't reach out. We did reach out. We've reached out since day one, basically. I learned June 1st. He was invited June 4th, period. The other thing is that, and I'm not going to go hunting him down to invite him, okay? He knows my information is completely public, right? He can reach us. The other thing that we're going to do is we've got some quotes of the day. I'm not going to reveal too much about that because it's proprietary, but you'll see some of the Facebook ads that we've already been doing. We're going to do more of those. We're going to also do some more protests. So we've been at Oars. We've been downtown on Main Street. We're going to keep those up. So if that's like your shtick and you want to do that and you're not afraid of COVID right now, then please send an email to friendsofeastflatrock@gmail.com and we will connect you with the people who like to do that. Cathy, you're a person who likes to do that, right?
I've done it. I do it because it's necessary. I don't do it because I like it.
Yeah. So and I think that it does make a splash and an impact, and it can be a media event that's been successful for us, for those who are willing to do that. And thank you so much for standing out in the weather, the hot, the rain, all of that. And for those of you who have purchased individual swag to then sell to others, I want to put the shout out to people like Mary Warren and Will Tucker and Manon and Jeff and Lisa. Like, all these people have helped us with signage, and I really appreciate that. Of course, our best signage is the ones that you can't steal, and those are the billboards. I'm not sure if you've seen them, Cathy, but they're up around town.
Wonderful.
So as a print guy, what do you think, Charlie? How did we do?
Oh, I think they're wonderful. I mean, I was impressed. We've seen 2 of them, and but you do a lot of time, Michelle, thanking other people, but I think as co-founder of Friends of East Flat Rock, you really need to be commended, because you are really the backbone of this campaign. I feel you are. And I mean, we appreciate everything that you do. And I'm sure a lot of other people also do.
I appreciate you saying that, Charlie. It's my pleasure and honor to serve everybody. I believe that our lives are created to serve others. I'm a big believer that we all have voice. And so that's just been sort of my purpose in life, to give, people voice and to hold people accountable. And so when I learned about this, that was my main thing, is that as long as my neighbors have a voice in this matter, I'm hopeful for a particular outcome, but I'm also not tied to a particular outcome. As we've all spoken in private, Charlie, Cathy, you, and my husband, we have the capacity to move if the asphalt plant were to move in, unlike most of our neighbors who don't have the capacity to move. And so that's why we fight. We really fight for them. And so thank you. And I also want everybody to know at this time that my mother is terrified. My 84-year-old mother is freaking terrified because she's never seen such shenanigans, and it scares her, like what's possible, right? And so just want to say publicly that my husband and I have our carry concealed licenses. So just putting it out there. I also know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so bring it. Yeah.
Well, I'm not with you.
We will protect ourselves, just as, we will protect ourselves. Just don't worry about that. Even though I'm a pacifist at heart, and thank you for your service, Charlie, I'm also the daughter of a Korean War veteran. So he taught me well very young. So let's talk about other things. We're going to be meeting with the commissioners. I really love talking. Oh, the other thing is thanking them. So thanking the planning department. We're not going to focus too much on the planning board members. That's over. That was Thursday. They voted our way. But the planning department, I had some heart-to-heart with them. I've been involved for a couple years now with the planning department plans for East Flat Rock as a precinct leader. And Cathy's also co-leader with me. And we've been really active, like trying to get them to get us information. So I spoke to John Mitchell and had some really great words. The reason why he got into the government is also so that people have a voice and are able to vote. So for Autumn and for everybody who's kind of just like allowing people to have a say and making sure that the process is fair for both the applicant and for us, I've just got a harvest of honey in my backyard from East Flat Rock. So I don't sell my honey, but I give it away. And so I'm going to just give them some jars of honey, and then with a little note, this is what we came up with on Monday. The Lorax speaks for the trees. We are friends of East Flat Rock. We speak for the bees.
Very good. I like that.
Very cute.
Catchy.
And so that's we want to just keep our next 30 days full of creativity, uplifting messages, positive engagement. When we're accused of something we didn't do, I didn't steal any signs. I didn't send any nasty anything. I've never threatened anyone. I've said that I will protect myself, and that's the extent of what I've said. So do you have anything to say about defending ourselves against what we haven't been accused? Like we're innocent of some of these accusations. So that was a big discussion on Monday for everybody, and everybody was like, just move on and forget people who are I
work with my party and putting signs up all around the county, and I've enjoyed doing it. And we've had the same thing. We've had signs ripped down and vandalized, but we just go back out and put them back up. And I like your favorite saying, and I think people really need to understand that when you're addressing the planning board or the commissioners or anybody for that fact, channel your inner Mr. Rogers. I think that is the most important thing. Don't show them, we do not need to step down to someone else's expectations. We're all grown-ups. We need to act like grown-ups and speak with respect.
I love that. I'm going to pull out Cathy's social background. So you were a social worker inside a school system. You kind of cut out when you said that. So were you a therapist or something in the school system?
I was a school social worker, therapist inside a school system, working for children, kindergarten through 4th.
Okay, so and then I used to do early childhood curriculum. and I worked with the National Head Start Association, and I have a master's degree in human development. And so I didn't know that we had that in common, Cathy. So wouldn't you agree that sometimes I'm 51, so I have the capacity to communicate as a 51-year-old. Sometimes people have a thwarted development and that they only have the capacity to communicate at where they were thwarted, let's say 13, or let's say 5th grade. And so don't you see that when you're communicating with somebody as an adult, Cathy?
Indeed, indeed. You have to remember where they came from and their developmental stage that they got stuck in, I think. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah, so we as adults have the capacity to bring any conversation. I know in my heart that when I'm communicating with people, I have the capacity to bring the age of that conversation up to 51. So when I speak to my 17-year-old nephew, I know that he only has the capacity of a 17-year-old. And I'm not going to expect much more of him. And I'm not going to degrade him for not being 50. Furthermore, I'm not going to degrade somebody for expressing themselves in a way that works for them. So, I think it's really important that we just honor and start where people are coming from. And that includes everybody. That includes our applicant, our planning board members, our planning department staff, our commissioners. And as long as you know your street, your side of the street is clean, you've got nothing to worry about. Now, if you're out stealing signs and you're out sending nasty emails, then you got something to apologize for. And like Mr. Rogers would encourage you to go do is go clean that up and make it right. But I know that I've seen the emails in the share file. We've got nothing to really apologize for. And when I speak to the police, and I just got a call yesterday for an update on what's happening. And when I told it was happening, I just got like, mm-hmm, and giggles. Like, mm-hmm, that doesn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. So consider the source when you're actually interacting with every human being, and that's during this process and beyond. Any final words for the two of you, my good neighbors? By the way, Cathy and Charlie were in our backyard when WLOS was in here. We were our backups to be interviewed too, and you all, by the skin of your teeth, got out of that interview.
And we also got to meet the famous chickens. So that was
got to meet
something.
the chicken.
Oh my God, those chickens. Blackie, I swear one of our chickens is like 30 years old. I have no idea.
Yeah, Shannon,
right.
it's very obvious that Shannon had a favorite chicken.
Right. Thank God we don't have children, right, Charlie? Because he would be so like, this is my favorite child. And I'd be like, that's going to be like so detrimental to that child's development.
We have tricks if you'd like a couple to train with.
Oh, that's so, no. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today. And like I said to everybody else, if you want to be a part of this Meet the Friends series, just click on the link below to my schedule. Just click in there, get 30 minutes, and we'll get it done. Bye, everybody.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.